Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. My name is Joseph Stevens, and I'm a trusted seller of TBC. Today is the 29th for me because it is Tuesday in New Zealand, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd just like to say welcome to my broadcast. What's on the agenda today? Well, I'm going to go into my share screen, and then we're just going to have a little quick chat. The 1% grab 82% of the wealth created in 2017. So the rest of us got 18%. Well, the rich grabbed 82%. Shocking. It's absolutely shocking. More than $8 of every $10 of wealth created last year went to the richest 1%. That's according to a new report from Oxfam International, which estimated that the bottom 50% of the world's population saw no increase in wealth. Now, what we did see is a lot of poor people. And then we started seeing a lot of homeless. Because the wealthy, they must feel depressed. Oxfam says the trend shows that the global economy is skewed in favor of the rich, rewarding wealth instead of work. The billionaire boom is not a sign of a thriving economy, but a symptom of a failing economy system, says Winnie Byanyima, Executive Director of Oxfam International. The head of the advocacy group argued that people who make our clothes, assemble our phones, or grow our food are being exploited as inhuman slave labor. And we don't even realize it, but we're just slaves to them. So we need to get our freedom back. The report also highlights the detrimental effect of gender inequality, with data that shows more men own land, shares, and other capital assets than women. Rising inequality has been a major topic at Davos for years. Oxfam said Monday that it is time for global elite to stop talking about inequality and start changing their ways. It's hard to find a political or business leader who doesn't say they are worried about inequality. It's even harder to find one who is doing something about it. Too true. Many are actively making things worse by slashing taxes and scrapping labor rights, she added. Should I need to go on? Oh, it's just about finished. And you can read the related ones here as well if you want. Oxfam said that government should focus on policies that would lead to fairer distribution of wealth and stronger workers' rights. These could include introducing a living wage, supporting labour unions, and tackling gender discrimination. Government also needs to tackle tax avoidance. I think I spoke about something like that yesterday, tax avoidance. And someone came over here to New Zealand, tried to hide all his money, and put limits on shareholder returns and executive pay. Like, what does a CEO of a bank make now? I think it's winking. I think it's horrendous amounts of money that they make now, a lot of them. The group argues companies should not issue dividends to shareholders unless they pay their workers a living wage. I don't know what do they get paid at McDonald's about. Over here in New Zealand, I think they're still on about $13 an hour. I know the minimum wage is around $16, but they're still under the minimum. So Oxfam also said tax policy should be used to reduce extreme wealth. Jeez. Yeah, hit them in the pockets. Okay. And that's all I wanted to say on that. I just want to start. I want to go on to this, but I'll come back to that. Because what I actually want to do is go into our Kringle's back office and just to touch up on migrating, which I've already done now. I should have waited. Over here you'll find all the questions and that, and if you haven't migrated, it's just a matter of completing all the questions that are in this area and submitting it. And the answers to all the questions just self-explanatory. If you get it wrong, you've got another one more go on that question, because there's only 2 answers. And if you get it wrong on the first answer, you'll get it right the next answer. So you can't get them wrong. And I just want to reiterate on what Mr. Jones was saying. It is exactly not discounting, because you can't get the question right. I mean, you can't get the questions wrong. You got 2 choices, and you got 2 goes, 3 goes even. So, and I was in that broadcast too, David. It was made a bit difficult to try and answer the question that was given, but anyway, it's not for me to carry on with. Down to the send button. Oh, the cookery rewards. Not the send button. Very self-explanatory, very easy. Do your rewards before you migrate. It's as easy as hitting that redeem button and then going, okay, and don't worry about this question up here. It says you can only redeem cookie rewards once this year. Well, no, you can redeem them in now and in November, so don't worry about that question. And then you just go, okay. I'm not going to do it yet because I've got a couple more broadcasts that I can put in and claim. And I'm just waiting for others to clear as well. And you can view all the details in here. And that's all there is to redeeming. Simple. click one button there, and okay, and that's it. Go into the send button. Down to the broadcasting rewards, and just make sure you get these all done. See, I've got a few pending, so I'm just waiting for them either be approved or rejected. Hopefully approved. And have we got anything else to touch on in here? No. Okay. I'll just log out of that. And we're going to log into the, I'm going to go over to the new wallet, and I'll log in and show you. I'll do my wife's one. Okay, if you haven't done this and you are migrating over, what will happen is you need to do your registration first before you can log into your wallet. So you have to register it, then you can log into your wallet. But I think you take that address over to your migration side of it, because after you finish those questions, you need to get, once you log in, I'll just log in here now. I'll show you what I mean. Once you've logged in, you have to take this, which is your wallet address, across to your Kingles back office and put it into the migration part of that questionnaire. And then it'll allow you to migrate from there and bring your 04 wallet over. And this is what the new wallet will look like. You get a send button up the top here. And I've shown this before. We've got the currency, your amount that can be converted, and that'll help you convert it from US dollars to TBC, and the amount, and it'll do all of that for you. And this is what 1 TBC equals right now. And that's about all I wanted to show you in the 09 wallet. So just log out of there. But just make sure you get that address right. And make sure you remember your password. So I use Avast, and I lock my passwords away in there. But a good practice could be, as some people is doing, is using the same password as you've got to log into your Kringles Cash back office. Use the same password. So until I've had a look at this. I've had a I forgot your password, and it's got a send link there, but I don't want to try it, so I'm not going to go there. Okay. We're going to go over to deciphering the song of The Sound of Silence. What an awesome song this is. Back when they first come out, which was in the 60s, Simon and Garfunkel, they were folk little rock legends in their day. And I might just give if I do this, I wonder if I'll get blocked out of my broadcasting if I show you the song, because I think it's got it might end up giving me a warning. So anyway, if you want to listen to the song, just jump on here, just so I don't want to get locked out of my account. my broadcasting account. And have a look through this one as well, Way of the Future. It's a very good glimpse. And what I think too is a lot of technology that's coming out now, and I can't remember the movie where the elite were behind or the chosen group were behind a wall, and then the poor were on the other side. They were locked out of this huge city. Do you remember the movie? It's like Hunger Games, but it was the... I just can't...
No.
I can't remember the movie, but it was around the same time as Hunger Games came out, and the elite were locked behind a wall, and nobody else could get in because the outside world was sort of screened off with a screen that these elite people had put up, and the only person that could break that barrier was this girl who had the powers, and they took her away to they caught her, and they tried to extract everything out of her brain. But yeah, I can't remember the movie. But this is what I think. A lot of the things that are happening now, a lot of the toys that they're making, are they making them for the elite? The elite trying to escape somewhere so they can't get caught. I know that a lot of them are moving down here to New Zealand. We don't want them here. Someone said that Mark Zuckerberg is heading down this way. Why? New Zealand's only tiny. He's got his own wealth. He can spend it on them. Well, he can spend it on a lot of the poor people. Come down here and hide away. It's not our problem what he does with his life. So anyway, I just want to touch on this, and then I'm going to start getting into a bit more about Paul Simon. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I just want to talk a bit about how the Sound of Silence song came about. So I'm just trying to close off some windows. I just want to bring up the lyrics. No, I'm not going to sing it, sorry. My wife would love me to sing it, but I'm not. Okay, and I know a lot of people have heard the song, "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend." Well, Paul Simon. I'm just trying to look at the chat now. Okay, so Paul Simon, he wrote the song while he was working at while he was working his first job in music, and it was just when he was coming out of college, and he was writing this song during that time, and he went to his record company. I don't know what his record company was at the time. I can't remember, but he wrote the song while he was at college, and I said that 3 times now. For this he just wrote it. He went to the record company and they got into a bit of an argument, and he ended up quitting that record company and said that they weren't going. He wasn't going to give them his new song. And at that time, his new song was "Sound of Silence." And he said that all the songs that he wrote from then on, he would publish himself. So he got a lucky break then. You know, he ended up keeping everything. Got the rights to his own songs. But he went on to say that "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend" came from the times when he was a boy, when he used to sing in the bathrooms, when he used to sing in his parents' bathroom, and he'd turn the light off and he'd play the guitar. And that's how he started to write and learn, or that's how he started to work on songs that he was writing, and that's how he learnt. Oh, that's where he worked on "Sound of Silence." That's what that little piece comes from. "Hello, darkness, my old friend." I come to talk with. Let's see if I get the lyrics. I come to talk with you again. Yeah. Because of vision softly creeping. Yeah, how often do you see yourself just waiting to be alone? Just wanting to be alone with your thoughts in a nice quiet place with no distractions, or on a hilltop looking out looking out over the ocean and just contemplating and just dreaming and just having your thoughts just to yourself and nobody else. When I used to go travel away with my family up to where my dad and them were staying, this was right next to the beach, and we'd go up there for holidays, and there's a lot of times that I just went up the hill and just sat there and just looked at the ocean. And then sometimes my wife would join me, and we'd just sit there and just watch the ocean and listening to the sound of the ocean. Just so calming. Now, how many people have done that? How many times have you sort of just lost your thoughts and just lost your thoughts by just going into your own world? Kia ora, Sharon. Thank you for joining my broadcast. I'm just talking about Paul Simon's "Sound of Silence." It's an awesome song. So how often do you see yourself getting away and just relaxing? The song was about the inability of people to communicate, and not in terms of plain language or international issues, but rather spiritually and emotionally. You live in Kaukuli. Oh, you used to. I lived in Calgary when I came over with. Oh, my younger brother's still there, and my sister, and Daniel Stevens, and Shirley. Daniel's youngest is the youngest brother, and Shirley's second oldest sister. But I'm still older than them. And their families are with them. Yeah, I'm just reading. It's just saying. It's cool. I had awesome comments from Randy this morning in his broadcast, and I showed my wife this morning, and she just couldn't stop smiling as well. What an awesome person! So the result of being an ability to love one another. So I think that song that is not just what words say, but what the melody says and what the sounds say. It really doesn't matter what you have to say. A lot of people don't hear it. They're only available to hear when the sound's entrance and makes people open to the thought. Sound of silence. I think that, yes, I think there is too much silence going on with broadcasters, considering how many members we have. Exactly, we've got that many. And Randy punched on that a lot this morning, and we've been getting that a lot from all the other broadcasters, including David Jones and Dan. The population is 40,000 plus in Calgary. Both my brother and sister work at the mine, and my sister's one of the bosses. Yep. And she's a member of TBC. But she knows the price of gold. Yeah. Where was I?
Randy Broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Broadcasting. You talking about broadcasting?
Yeah, I know. I was. But I'll get back over the result. The result of being an inability to love one another as well. So I think the song that people just don't hear, again, they're a lot of people are just locked away in their own thoughts. I mean, I spoke about the elite not before you come in, Sharon, as well, the 1% that are getting 82% of the wealth, while we share the other 16%. They get to share 82%. Not good. You know, the song "The Sound of Silence" was a song that Paul Simon wrote while he was experiencing some deep levels of emotion. I think it was like nobody's listening. He was saying that nobody was listening to him, and he also said that nobody's listening anymore. And these were back in the 60s and 70s, and I think, and it's still going on. Nobody's listening. Was it a post adolescence? What's the word? Angst? But it had some level of truth in it. It resonated millions of people about the level of truth. Largely because the song had just simple and singable and a singable melody. Well, I believe in God giving vision, and I believe in God in telling them that they are putting all their hopes and dreams on one thing of this earth there instead of things above. You can keep searching for things to make you happy, but they don't until you make that decision to follow what your soul is really in need of. But you will still have that sound of silence. The sound of silence that is referred to in the song, people were afraid of saying anything against the governments. They're too scared to lash out. They were starting to get too scared to protest. Because you've got Tenement Square in the song, tenement walls, written on tenement walls. Well, Tenement Square had the riots and the big shootings in those days, and the police killed a lot of people. That was really sad to watch. 2,000 people of the elite, consisting of 3 families. Yes, Rockefeller, Morgans, and Rothschilds. And I think you can add DuPont and Mellon into that too, because Andrew Mellon owned a bank. So I reckon you can add those fellas into that as well. And look where they all come from. What country? Not New Zealand. There's people who were afraid to say anything against governments because they were afraid of death. And I think there's another country where people are still afraid of saying anything to right now, and that is Russia. People are still afraid to say anything because they might get killed. They're afraid to speak up against their government. See, Paul Simon or whoever has had this dream tries to bring people to speak out. And we did start speaking out, and we'll keep on speaking out and we won't stop until something is actually done about what's happening. Getting back that control. We need to get back that control. We have to stamp something on the head, or bang them in the heads. But then all of a sudden I've got the military in my hands. So you're damned if you do or you're damned if you don't. I'm glad that one little tiny island, the Marshall Islands, has done what they've done and gone to cryptocurrency as their currency. Because now I hope every other island starts doing it. I hope that happens in Samoa and Fiji, because right now I think Fiji is starting to be ruled by, well, not their race anyway, put it that way, but because there is a lot of Indians there and there are a lot of the wealthy going there as well. You'll see that where we went to, not Vanuatu, where did we stop off? In Fiji.
We did Port Denaru.
Port Denaru. Hang on. Port Denaru. That was a place where you could see the wealth in Fiji. We're silent no more. And we've had the silent times. Now we've got to have more broadcasters, which will help. The more broadcasters talking out will help. The more people start to stand up for their rights. Yes, I'm reading. And we have a true value in that coin. Decades of financial abuse. We need to break the cycle. Well, Marshall Islands has shown us the way. So why don't we start getting a lot of these small islands to start doing the same thing? See, as I said, Fiji is getting overrun with outsiders, and they're pushing the Fijians into little tiny pockets, or abusing them by making them run errands for them, and dragging in the tourists and taking their money. But the Fijians, by doing that, they're getting jacked. You go and grab a tourist, you bring them to my shop, and you sell, and you say it's neat, and then they rip the tourist off, and then send them on their way to the next person. So, and now, who's the magnate that's in Australia doing the casinos?
Okay.
Who's ended up building a casino in Port Denaru in Fiji. And yeah, and now he's found another place to hide his wealth there. Yeah, I don't care about naming. It doesn't worry me about naming people that have got a lot of money. I don't care.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Oh, watch that. If we watch movies, people might say we're lazy. Tries to bring people to speak out. That's what that's what Paul Simon was doing. He was trying to bring people out to talk out against the government, or just voice their opinion, not to actually talk against the government, just to voice their opinions and get it said. And I think a lot of Maori over here are too whakamā to do that. They stay hidden, and they don't want to talk out about anything over here. And so what do? We let everybody else do the talking. And are we still silent? Well, slowly we need to come out of our shells as well. And if I can help get the message out there, I will. I know you're doing well. You're getting the message out there, Sharon. And I know I'm trying to spread it as far and as wide as I can. We're going to speak we're going to speak, we're going to say that we're no longer afraid of the government. We're going to speak the more control the government takes, and the less anyone will stand up to the new governments. I think I'm getting all that tangled.
Yep, as soon as I get a chance to watch
it. All I hope is about to be given up. Someone steps up and says, and this is from Paul Simon, all I hope is, as all hope is about to be given up, someone steps up and says, the crowd that the future they will hold has been written on the walls of subways and tenement halls. This is just because this form of protest can be done anonymously. So they used to write, and we're still writing and spraying over walls. Well, not me, but kids are still writing and spraying over walls and that. And you're still getting a lot of the bullying and that are going on at schools. And we learned yesterday that a friend of ours lost her daughter, who committed suicide, because I think it's due to peer pressure. You see, back in our day, we were disciplined. We handled it. But it only took one person to say, stop hitting your kids, stop hitting your kids. Yeah, there is a different way of hitting, and there is not everybody goes and abuses their kids. If you've got a clip around the ear, you got a clip around the ear and you learn. Nowadays, if you clip a kid around the ear, they're going to ring the cops. They ring the cops and go, bye-bye then. You go and find your own place to sleep. And then they blame you for the rest of their lives.
hopefully those chemtrails are not happening.
I haven't heard anything more about the chemical trails. I haven't seen anything down here in Wellington because it's too windy in Wellington. They just blow it out to sea.
Blow it away, blow it to sea.
It's probably a good thing about living in Wellington. I think that's what happened down in Christchurch too, and why they're killing so many of the cattle from the dairy industry. I think they've been spraying down there, and now they've concocted a story so that they can get rid of the cattle. Okay, and then now they're getting rid of the cattle, they get rid of the farmers. They get rid of the farmers, they bring in all these elite people to live down there. Oh, because it's the nicest part of the country, they reckon. Snow, fresh water. It's like they're going to be untouchable. Like someone, there's nobody following me. Someone went and brought a huge farm down in Christchurch. He brought a huge farm down in Christchurch, and there's only one way to one of the lakes down there in Christchurch, along this access road. And now he's gone and built a fence line and a gate and padlocked the gate, and now nobody can get through there because he's got all the money. So now he's got the council in his hand because he paid them to make sure that nobody could go there. It's not his lake. He doesn't own it. He just bought the land next to it. Now he thinks he owns the lake as well. I think we should go down there and do a haka on him. Don't worry about the time. There's nobody following me. I've got a good spot. It's 3 o'clock. Nobody after me. Nobody wants this time, so I took it. This is... So this begins the whispering in the silence of the people and starts the beginning of a revolt. And those are the words from Simon, Paul Simon.
Christchurch. Oh,
yes, that's where they're all moving. That's where they're all heading, is to Christchurch. I hope the earthquake gets his butt.
Well, I hope he brings...
They've been given, they can't actually move here unless they pay the government a certain amount. But they're actually not paying them the amount that they've been asked to pay, which is ridiculous. And they're all getting away with it too, all these. A lot of Chinese are coming over here and doing the same thing as what they've done in Canada, is buying up houses and leaving them empty. And so they've done them in Auckland too. They're buying houses in Auckland and leaving them empty. Now they've gone down and they're trying to get into the Christchurch area, buying houses and leaving them empty. I haven't seen them doing that here in Wellington because it's too cold for their butt. And exactly about the chemtrails, I haven't seen anything down here in Wellington. Not yet. I haven't heard anything about chemtrails up in Auckland. There hasn't been anything on the news about them up in Auckland. But your daughter is there in Auckland, so she could fill you in more about that. No, inspiring our mindset. I've been able to speak out more now. Once someone gave me a weapon called broadcasting. Awesome weapon, eh, Sharon? A lot of people that, as long as a lot of people that do start to come on here as broadcasters don't start to abuse it, because it's their face that's going to be showing on the broadcasting. But I have seen one person broadcasting who's just had a picture there and you don't see him right through the whole broadcast. So he's hiding behind a mask. I will catch up with your broadcast tonight, Sharon. I will be watching it. And then I will go non-eyes after that one. And Did you hear about Jules not being able to broadcast because of what she did on Saturday night, and she played We Are the World, the whole version of it, and they banned her from YouTube. So I just told her to go make another account up and go from there. Just change your name around a little bit. Anyway, with that, I just want to say we're silent no more. GAP is what Mary Ann and James say. And you're welcome. So this is Joe, and come over here and say hooray.
I'm busy typing. Hi, have a happy day, everyone.
Now come over here. Oh, she's still in her dressing gown.
Exactly.
Because she's a night shifter. But a lot of things get done at night time. They say a lot of inspiring people work at night time because it's a lot quieter. Okay, so this is Joe Stevens and Sandy Stevens saying, Kia ora koutou. We are trusted sellers of TBC, and we'll catch you on my next broadcast. And if you need any information and you need any help, just click down the bottom here on the Show Me and get in touch with me. And we'll catch you all tomorrow. Same place, same time. 3 o'clock every day. Except Sundays. And that's New Zealand Sundays. See you, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you. Ka kite. Bye.